Hello friends, today I am going to explain you about fertilization process in plants, structure and function of fruits and seeds. First, what is fertilization? Fusion of male and female gamete is called fertilization. Now, what is the process of fertilization? When pollen grain reaches to the stigma of same kind of flower, it germinates into the pollen tube. Pollen tube grows down through the style. This is the style. Pollen tube grows down through the style and enters to the ovary to reach the ovule. It enters to the ovary and here the eggs are present. After reaching to the ovule, pollen tube releases male gamete. It releases male gamete and male gamete fuses with the female gamete which are present here. Female gamete are also called as eggs. Eggs are fuses with the male gamete and produce the zygote. The ovary now develops into the fruit and ovules develops into the seed. After fertilization, some events takes place in the flower like ovary remains attached to the stalk of the flower and grows into the fruit. The ovules develops into the seeds. The wall of ovary develops into the fruit wall. The other parts of flower like sepals, petals, styles, stigma, stamens, they all fall off. Now the parts of fruit. A fruit is a mature ovary. It consists of pericarp or we can say the fruit wall. Pericarp is also called as fruit wall and the seeds. Pericarp. First we will discuss about pericarp. It develops from the ovary wall. It is thick and fleshy fruit and thin in the dry fruits. Pericarp has three parts. First one is exocarp. Exocarp is also known as epicarp. It is the outer thin covering of the fruit. Then mesocarp. It is the fleshy middle layer of the fruit. Then endocarp. It is the inner hard part of the fruit. Now when we discuss about dry fruits and fleshy fruits, the pericarp of dry fruit is dry and non-edible. The edible part of dry fruit are seeds. The examples are maize, gram, wheat. But in fleshy fruit, the pericarp or some of its parts are soft and pulpy. Grapes, apple, cherry, mango are the examples of fleshy fruit. In walnut, the wall of ovary develops into a hard shell, but the edible seed is surrounded by this hard shell. The edible portion of the walnut that is present inside the shell. Now the function of fruits. The function of fruit is to protect seed from harsh climate. It also helps in dispersal of seeds and it also store food material inside them. Now the seed. Seed is the fertilized ovule. After fertilization, it develops from here. Means a new generation starts from the seeds. Some fruits have only one seed like mango and some have many seeds like orange and apple. There are three main parts of seed. First one is embryo, second one is seed coat and third one is endosperm. Seed coat is the protective covering of the seed. Embryo is the baby plant which is in the starting stage or inactive stage. Embryo consists of three main parts. First one is radicle. Radicle part of embryo form the root system. Second one is plumule. Plumule form the shoot system. Shoot system means branches, leaves. It form the shoot system of the plant. And third portion is cotyledon. Cotyledon are seed leaves. In some seeds, they provide the food material. In some seeds, endosperm is absent. Means in dicot plant like pea, bean, endosperm is absent. So on the place of endosperm in those dicot plants, cotyledon supply the food material to the embryo or young plant. Types of seed. On the basis of number of seeds, seeds are of two types. First one is dicot, second one is monocot. Dicot seeds have two cotyledons. Cotyledons become fleshy because they store food materials inside them. At the time of seed germination, cotyledon develops into the first green leaf of young plant. As I already told you, in dicotyledons, endosperm is absent. So cotyledon provide food to the embryo on the place of endosperm. Now monocotyledons, they have only one cotyledon. Food is stored in the endosperm. In monocotyledon, endosperm is present. But in dicotyledons, endosperm is absent. The example of monocotyledons are rice, wheat, and maize. Now, dispersal of fruits and seeds. First, I will explain the definition of dispersal. The way through which fruits and seeds are distributed away from the parent plant. That is called as dispersal of fruits and seeds, or the process through which the seeds get away from the plants. That is called as dispersal of fruits and seeds. Now, the advantages of fruits and seeds: to ensure the wide distribution of seeds, then help to cover the barren land. Barren land means infertile land. Help to cover the infertile land with the plants. It prevents the competition of food, space and light due to overcrowding. Then it ensures survival of large number of seedling under favorable condition. We should provide them the favorable conditions so the large number of seedling can survive. Now, agents of seed dispersal. There are three main agents of seed dispersal. First one is by wind. Second one is water, and third one is animal. Seed dispersed by wind are small and light in weight. They have hair and float in the air. They are lightweighted, so they can flow in the air easily. The examples are sunflower and cotton. Second one is dispersal by water. Seed dispersal by water have a spongy outer covering. Examples are coconut and lotus. They have a spongy outer covering. Coconut have a spongy outer covering, so it can float easily in water. Then seed dispersed by animals have spines. They attach with the skin of animals and clothes of human beings, and they reach from one place to another. Means they reach one place to another through the animals and humans. Now, what is seed germination? Germination is the process in which seed grow into a seedling in the presence of air, water and warmth. When seed grow into a seedling in the favorable condition, that is called as seed germination. Now I will explain the process of seed germination. Seed swells up by taking water is called imbibition. Seed coat ruptured, radicle grows in the soil and form the root system. I already explained you the radical part of embryo form the root system. Then plumule grows upward and develops leaf and form the shoot system. Plumule part of embryo form the shoot system. Then food stored in the cotyledon is used by growing embryo. Cotyledon form the first leaf of seedling and new leaves develops from the plumule for preparing the food. Now the types of germination. There are main two types of germination. First one is epigeal and second one is hypogeal. Epigeal germination, when cotyledons come out of the soil, or we can say cotyledons form the first green leaf of the seedling, that is called as epigeal germination. The examples are bean and gourd. Hypogeal germination, when cotyledon remain under the ground, or we can say because cotyledon remain under the ground, so they do not form the leaves. First leaf develop from the plumule. The example of hypogeal germination are maize and gram. The difference between epigeal and hypogeal germination is epigeal germination takes place above the soil and hypogeal germination takes place under the ground or in the soil. Now, the conditions required for seed germination, these are the main conditions which required for the seed germination. First one is moisture, then air, then warmth. First, moisture. Water softens the seed coat, which makes it burst and plumule and radicle come out. Water activates the growth of embryo. Then air. During germination, energy is required for growth. Energy is released by oxidation of food. Then third one is warmth. Some seeds do not germinate in summer. Similarly, some seeds do not germinate in winter. Seeds of different types need different temperature to grow. Seeds of summer plant grows in temperature range between 25 to 40 means they require the temperature range between 25 to 40 to grow. The summer plants are rice and maize. Then the winter plant grow within the temperature range of 10 to 20 The examples of winter plants are wheat, gram and pea. This was all about this video. If you like this video, then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.